Hi everyone, it's Lynn here from Inside Knowledge, and in this short 5-minute video I'm going to talk about managing social media. Now, I really happen to love social media. I work online, I collaborate a lot online, I get a lot of ideas and training online, so I'm not going to bag it per se. What I will say is your experience of social media, a big part of that is how you manage your feed. So the kind of friends you let into your Facebook page, the groups that you choose to follow, the pages that you like, a lot of that will affect how you experience social media. So be kind of routine about it, like monthly or fairly regularly. Make sure that you still want to follow certain groups, and if you're kind of scrolling past all the time, then unfollow them or unlike them, because there's no point in exposing yourself to information that may be distracting or upsetting. For instance, I get really upset with animal welfare. Abuse of animals really derails me, and so I do continue to support charities, but I choose not to follow them on my Facebook page because I find the content really disturbing. So yeah, just be a bit mindful of what you're letting into your page. But the big change that I've made is the amount of time that I have social media open on my screen. So I work on my computer most of the day, and in the past I've always had Facebook open, and because I have it open I tend to engage more frequently with people, and then I get more and more engagement and more notifications, and it was starting to get to the point where I felt that I was constantly kind of derailing myself from my own work and what I needed to get done. So I didn't sort of notice straight away because, like I said, a lot of my interactions, well, most of my interactions are really positive, and I get some great ideas and it's exciting and I love it. But I found that for a certain part of my work it wasn't useful, and that's where I'm creating content, that's where I'm working on strategy, that's when I'm trying to draft a very important marketing email or respond to an email. All of that requires a clear mind. And the other thing I felt is that I wasn't staying focused on what my goals were. And so I did something pretty radical, and I basically banned social media until lunchtime. So I still check my emails, and I'm still available on Facebook Messenger so people can contact me directly, but I don't go onto my Instagram feed. I don't go onto Facebook in the morning. And if you see me on Facebook in the morning, it's because I'm posting something into my page or I'm sending a direct message to someone. But essentially, I'm not looking at the timeline, I'm not clearing my notifications. And then at lunchtime, once I'm feeling really good because I've ticked off a big part of my to-do list, then I go onto social media and I clear my notifications, anything I'm tagged in directly, anything that I'm particularly interested in. And then once they are clear, I might spend, say, 5 minutes just looking generally, just to see if anything pops up of interest. And then I close it off again and I go and have a lovely, relaxed lunch. And it's working really well for me. I was quite surprised because I really used to look forward to the morning where I could find out what had been going on overnight, and I just don't feel that need. I know that I'm going to get my fix, and I know that I'm going to stay in contact with people, and it's just a really nice balanced approach, I think, to social media. It's putting it in its place, putting it in a box, and not letting it sort of bleed through into every part of my day. So if social media is a little bit of a challenge for you, I would highly recommend you try out this technique of simply limiting the amount of time you spend on social media. Once I've cleared at lunchtime and I come back in the afternoon, I just look when I feel like it, and that's not very often, to be honest. As soon as I've sort of put social media in its box, my need for it seems to have decreased, and I think that's partly because my mind is settled and calm and I don't feel the need to distract myself all the time. Are there drawbacks to this? Yep, I think there are. They're not massive, but because for me, a lot of my contacts are in the Northern Hemisphere, I find that by the time I go onto social media, most people have gone to bed. That's actually a good thing because I can respond slowly and in time, but I'm not as engaged sort of live in conversation, and that may well affect some of my relationships with people in the Northern Hemisphere. But, I still make sure that I stay in contact with people and I respond and I participate, but it's just a little bit delayed. I notice, quite often I'm responding to something that was posted 12 hours ago. So that's a little bit of a change, and time will tell if that affects how well I connect and collaborate with people at a distance. But I'm pretty happy with the payoff, because it means that I can get a great amount of work done, and I feel a lot better and a lot clearer. And I just highly recommend it to anyone. Give it a go. Make that part of your morning routine. You have your really good routine in the morning, like the mindful movement sequence that I do, maybe a bit of meditation, some exercise, and combine that with avoiding too much social media. Thanks so much for listening. In my next video, I'll be going into greater detail about the mindful movement sequence.